The last thing I want to do for you guys in this particular chapter is to go ahead and give you more practice with absolute advantage and comparative advantage. And these are two questions that you're going to see at the end of these lecture slides for this chapter. So take a look at this. France can produce 50 cameras or 100 cheeses, while Germany can produce 200 cameras or 300 cheeses. Which country has an absolute advantage in cheese production? So here we can actually go ahead and do this for both of these goods. With absolute advantage, remember all you need to go ahead and do is choose the higher number. There's no calculation involved with absolute advantage in order to see who has the absolute advantage. So here we have 300 cheese versus 100 cheese. 300 is bigger than 100, so therefore Germany has the absolute advantage in cheese production. For cameras, we compare 200 versus 50, and we notice that, hey, Germany has the absolute advantage once again in camera production because 200 is bigger than 50. So Germany has the absolute advantage in both of these particular goods. So easy question for us to answer. A little bit more difficult for us to answer is, let's go ahead, take a look at the same exact question, but now I change one word. Which country now has the comparative advantage in each of these particular goods? So what do we need to go ahead and do in order to answer this question? We need to go ahead and focus in on the opportunity cost. With comparative advantage, you actually need to go ahead and do some type of calculation. And the easiest way to go ahead and do that is through the opportunity cost tables that we've done twice already so far. So let's go ahead and build up the table for us. So here, let's go ahead. We have two countries. We have France. We have Germany. And then once again, we have two goods for each of these particular countries. We have cameras and we have cheese. Cameras and delicious, delicious cheese. So anytime you encounter one of these problems, it doesn't really matter how the problem is presented to you. You already know the steps and methodologies in order to get the correct answer. The problem can be presented to you in a graph. It can be presented to you in a table, in terms of a story problem, in terms of an illustration. You already know the sort of steps and methodology in order for you to get the answer that we need in order to solve this out. So here we build up the table. We have the numbers that are being provided to us. We have 50 cameras. We have 100 cheese for France. And we have 200 and 300 for Germany. So we've essentially transformed the story problem that we have into a production table, just using the numbers that are being provided to us. What is our next step from this? Our next step is to go ahead and convert this into an opportunity cost table. So opportunity cost of cameras. And then we have opportunity cost of cheese. OC of cheese. And in order to find the opportunity cost of cameras, what do we need to do? We need to immediately throw the other good on top. Remember, opportunity cost of good A always set in terms of good B. So you throw the 100 cheese on top, keep the 50 cameras on the bottom. Opportunity cost of cheese, we throw the cameras on top, we throw cheese on the bottom. And then we do the same thing for Germany. Opportunity cost of cameras for Germany, we throw 300 cheese on top, we keep cameras in the denominator. And then for cheese, we keep cameras on top, and then keep the cheese on the bottom. So with all of this, we've successfully laid the foundation in order for us to simplify each of these fractions. So we'll skip the final table right here. We'll just go ahead and simplify all these numbers out in order to find the opportunity cost of each of these particular goods. 100 divided by 50, that'll give us 2. 50 divided by 100, that'll give us 1/2. 300 divided by 200, that's 1.5. And 200 divided by 300, that's 2/3, so 0.67. So 0.66667, we'll round that to 0.67. And remember, the interpretation of each of these is very important. In order for France to produce one additional camera, they have to give up on the production of 2 wheels of cheese. For Germany, in order for them to produce one more additional camera, they give up on 1.5 wheels of cheese. Remember, with comparative advantage, we want the lower number between these two, so 1.5 is less than 2. So therefore, Germany has a comparative advantage in producing or manufacturing cameras. They are the ones that should be specializing in making cameras. They should be exporting cameras out to France. And then interpretation of cheese, the opportunity cost of cheese. In order for France to produce one more wheel of cheese, they have to give up on the production of half a camera. For Germany, in order for them to produce one more wheel of cheese, they have to give up on the production of 0.67 cameras. So in this instance, 0.5 is less than 0.67. So therefore, France has the lower opportunity cost of producing cheese. Therefore, they have the comparative advantage in making cheese. So therefore, they should be exporting cheese out to Germany. So once again, get a lot of practice using this table right here in order to find out the comparative advantage using the opportunity cost formula, what you give up over what you gain. There's a lot of these problems in the practice problems for you to go ahead and take a look at. The more practice and exposure that you get with these type of problems, no matter what form they may come in, that'll give you a lot of practice and you'll be good to go for the questions that you'll see on the exam. So this will do it for chapter number 2. I'll go ahead and see you guys in chapter number 3, where we take a look at the supply and demand, which is probably the most important model that we go ahead and take a look at in all of economics.